Okay, face reveal video is going live on the 14th. Also, check out my new channel, Stoicistic. It's going to be similar content, just a different format. And now the video. We're back again with another part to the much beloved My Strange Addiction tier list series, this time part 3. The next part will probably be the finale, but there's like 100 other shows that I could do this for, and I like making them, so I'll probably keep making them. If you want to know how we're ranking them or haven't watched the first 2 parts, go and watch them because we're just going to get directly into it here. Now the first strange addiction we'll be looking at is the lady addicted to coffee enemas.
My name is Trina, and I live in St. Petersburg, Florida.
That's perfect.
And I'm addicted to coffee enemas.
Now for those of you who don't know what an enema is, to put it succinctly, it's injecting a liquid of some sort into your anus, and is done for many reasons, which could be to help with constipation or for drug administration purposes. However, Trina has neither of these and in my opinion is just addicted to caffeine. Trina is currently married, so let's see what her husband thinks about this weird coffee ritual.
My initial reaction was, my God, that's disgusting. But I tried it, and now I'm addicted to coffee enemas.
Oh great. They even fight over who gets to take the first enema of the day, and I'm gonna assume that they clean the tubing before and after each use, and aren't playing puff puff pass with an enema pipe.
It's funny how our personality goes into it, but we have totally different styles.
I like a finer, almost espresso grind, and I feel like that saturates the coffee solution more with caffeine.
I like it thicker because I feel like it's not as messy and drippy.
If you thought those homebrew coffee accounts with the complex metal stirrers were obnoxious, just imagine they all got into coffee enemas. Yeah, this is my Enematic 4000. It has a 16-speed pump and a liquid cooling system to ensure the coffee goes up my arse at exactly 37.5 degrees C. And it can also file my taxes. Honestly, I would hate to be friends with someone like this, because if I ever went to get a coffee at their house and it tastes like shit, I may have to channel my inner Ted Kaczynski and start sending out presents in the mail. And here we have our first black screen of death, and I'll be using these numbers to roughly calculate how much caffeine they've taken in. I'm going to assume that they both take 2 enemas a day, which puts them at around 120 a month, which is in line with what the video says. They also say in the video that per colon coffee concoction, they're intaking 32 ounces or almost 1 kilogram of coffee, which comes to around 360 milligrams of caffeine per brew. And they do this twice each, which puts them at around 720 milligrams of caffeine per day every day, assuming that they keep the coffee in their colon for at least 45 minutes. Now that sounds like a lot, but it's actually not that much. For an average adult, the LD50 for caffeine is around 10,000 milligrams, so they aren't even 10% of the way there. That's not to say that having this much caffeine wouldn't be bad for you though. Caffeine intake at this level can cause symptoms that include restlessness, vomiting, tremors, and increased heart rate. Now, neither Trina or her husband actually display any of these symptoms, so it could be that they're lying about these enemas, and I would have to put them in the fake tier, or they aren't absorbing most of the caffeine that they intake. Personally, I'm gonna have to put them into the a little weird tier because I don't have enough evidence to put them definitively in the fake tier, and most people are addicted to coffee the same as these two, except these two just put it up the other end instead. Up next, we have the story of what would happen if the old man from Up liked balloons a lot more than he already did.
My name is Julius, I'm 62 years old, and I'm addicted to balloons.
Now Julius here doesn't just like balloons, he really likes balloons, and you know what? I'll let him put it in his own words.
But Julius's obsession with balloons goes beyond shapes and colors.
My love for balloons, it's also a sexual love. When I see a beautiful balloon, my heart starts to flutter and I get aroused.
Okay, but did the producers really have to ask him to stand in a dark room with the blinds half closed, just holding a balloon like that? Oh, they did. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm guessing you get the picture about the whole balloon love, but this isn't the worst B-roll footage that they included for this episode. Check this out.
There's lots of people out there that feel the same way as I do about balloons. But there's two groups of the lunar group. You got the poppers that get aroused by popping balloons, and you got your non-poppers. I'm a non-popper.
What kind of freaky shit were the producers on? Where did they even get the footage for this? Whose feet are these? I have too many questions and not enough answers. Honestly, I feel a little molested having to have viewed that, and I'm not even sure how they managed to get the green light for airing this in 2013 daytime television. Our friend Julius, in my opinion, should be named the patron saint of balloons for his tireless work saving them on the daily.
The sound of a balloon popping devastates Julius, and he even rescues balloons he believes to be in danger.
I'll go to car dealerships and do what I call a balloon rescue.
Okay, maybe saving was the wrong word. He just steals random balloons from stores. Imagine living around this guy and being a store worker who has to deal with his shit. Ricky, he's outside again. He's doing the thing with the balloons again. Yes, I know you told me to just let him take them, but honestly, this is like the third time this week, and I'm not going out to buy more balloons again.
But Julius doesn't just share his extreme love for balloons with many people.
The only people that know him is my family. My wife thinks it's strange, but she accepts it.
This goes back to what I was saying before. How are all of these people either married or in a relationship? And also, because this guy truly loves balloons, isn't that akin to cheating for normal people? By being constantly surrounded by these things that he genuinely loves?
I see nothing wrong with loving balloons. It's not hurting anybody. It's not dangerous, and I have no desire to change.
Wow. Holy smokes.
I just love everything there is to love about balloons.
Is it like an emotional love or romantic love or?
It's this combination. It's kind of like a platonic love, plus there's some sexual overtones in there too.
What do you mean sexual overtone?
I get aroused by them.
Okay, why is Julius friends with someone who's like 30 years younger than him? And he also seemed very eager to let her know that balloons, quote, sexually arouse him, whilst being in a room completely surrounded by balloons.
What does your wife think about the balloons?
She really hasn't said much.
She doesn't like get a little bit jealous or?
I don't think so. I don't think she sees it as a threat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and make an educated guess that yes, your wife is definitely not happy about the balloon fetish, especially when she refused to take part in the TV show.
I think I'd come in here and pop every single balloon, yeah.
You would? Huh?
Oh yeah, I would.
Wow. When she said that she would pop them all, that kind of threw me for a loop.
What Julius's lady friend just said is the equivalent of telling someone you're gonna slit the throats of their loved ones, and you can tell that Julius is thrown off by it. What to her was a throwaway comment, Julius took very seriously. So the producers get Julius to go to therapy, and there are some gems in the conversation.
So tell me, what have been the main problems that this has caused? And
As far as I'm concerned, it's never caused any problem. Well, I spent 8 years in the Army, living with guys,
how was that for you, not being able to have access to
I had to hide it, but, I was successful in hiding it. Nobody ever found out about it.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. Everyone probably found out about it. Imagine trying to go to sleep in the barracks and all you hear is the noise of balloons being gripped with a lustful fervor late into the long night. Anyways, the therapist agrees that because it's not really harming anyone, it's not really that bad. And so, Julius continues his love for balloons and has not given it up till this day. Honestly, even though it's not harming anyone, the fact that the producers made me watch this scene of someone footsying up a balloon has annoyed me to the point that I'm going to be putting him in the strange tier. Up next, we have the lady who is addicted to eating sand.
My name is Bria. I'm 19 years old, and I'm addicted to eating sand.
When I go to the beach and I accidentally eat some food with a little sand on it, I am absolutely enraged. Okay, maybe not that angry, but very annoyed in the least. So the fact that this lady just raw dog sand is insane to me.
Bria is so dependent on that satisfying crunch, she turns to nail files when her sand supply runs low.
It has like sandpaper on it that gives me the same crunch. Sorry. I put it like in the back of my teeth and just go like this.
Okay, nail file thing aside, how do you ever run out of sand? Is Missouri a landlocked state? Okay, it is landlocked, but they still have beaches, so I'm not sure how you could ever run out. Couldn't you just fill a bucket with sand and have that last you the whole year? And now back to the actual nail file thing. Isn't she just shaving her teeth down? I'd imagine her teeth are very sensitive after all that enamel being worn away.
Today, she's decided she's ready to reveal her addiction to her best friend, Precious.
Yeah, I 100% believe that this was her idea and definitely not the producer's idea. What a preposterous notion.
Well, I have a secret. I wanted to tell you that I like chewing on nail files and grinding them on the back of my teeth. Why you do that? They give me like...
I think the best part about this is that the producers made her tell her friend that she chews on nail files, whilst both of them are getting their nails done, and the nail ladies look like they're having the time of their lives.
Another secret. Got another one? The reason I like nail files is because I also like to eat sand. I do it every single day.
Okay. Yeah, they got 2 front row tickets to probably one of the weirdest conversations these nail techs have ever heard. After her confession to her friend, Bria's sister talks her into seeing a doctor, and it's actually a kind of wholesome moment, which is somewhat rare on this show.
Well, it would mean a lot to me if you went to go see a doctor because I love you, you're my only sister. I'm just concerned about you.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go see a doctor for you.
Now, I'm not sure where they got this doctor from, but he looks like Justin Trudeau from Wish. Nevertheless, let's have a listen to the sage advice that the doctor offers to Bria.
I strongly recommend that you stop eating sand.
Well, I could have told you that for free. Jokes aside, they do an abdominal x-ray of Bria and there's a surprising twist.
So this is an x-ray of your belly. This is your colon, okay, and this is basically stool in your colon. What I don't see on this x-ray is any evidence of any areas that are calcified or look like sand on the x-ray.
Dr. Trudeau found no evidence of a sand buildup or any sand visible at all in her colon. Now, either she grinded those sand crystals into fine dust, or she may be lying about the addiction because sand shows up very clearly on x-rays. Here you can see an x-ray of a dog and the sand poop is very distinct from the regular poop. Now, although pica is a real disease and it does sometimes make people eat rocks and sands, I personally think that Bria may have been faking her illness just for the cameras, and I have 2 reasons why. Firstly, her teeth would be ultra sensitive, which she doesn't really seem to acknowledge or mention, as well as the x-ray coming up with nothing. Surely, if she was addicted as she claims, there would be at least even a small amount of sand visible in her x-rays. So, for these reasons, I'm going to be putting this in the fake tier. Our next addiction is going to be a lady who loves to smell gasoline. But Mr. Stick, didn't we already cover that addiction? Well, yes, but that addiction was fake and the lady was lying about it. This older lady we're covering this time is actually really a gasoline fiend.
My name is Teresa. I'm 44 years old. I'm from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and I'm addicted to smelling gasoline.
Now, this is what I imagine when I think of someone who is addicted to gasoline. Now, this may seem mean-spirited, but I thought Americans were known for their excellent dental care. Well, more so than the British at least. But this lady has some seriously poor dental hygiene, which has nothing to do with her addiction, it just is really off-putting to look at.
No matter where I'm at, I have a bottle with me. I keep it either in my purse or in my jacket pocket. When I eat, it's sitting right there at the kitchen table in case I get that urge. Wait a minute. That might make me feel better.
Teresa really is a fiend for the lean. She couldn't resist the call even mid-interview. That is the sign of a really dedicated gas fiend.
When Teresa doesn't have gasoline, watch out. She does get very angry.
Yeah,
what do you think it's doing to your health? What do you think it's doing to your brain? Or...
I don't know. I can't answer that. But I'm not going to sit here and have you throw it in my face when, you know...
I'm not throwing it in your face. I'm just saying, you've been saying that for years, but you're still smelling gas.
Turns out that she also likes to gaslight as well as gas sniff. Her boyfriend is 100% correct, but she manages to take it as a personal attack rather than advice and flip it on him, which is manipulation 101. Honestly, her boyfriend deserves better.
I've heard her talk about situations where she chose the gas over buying food or something like that. She just needs her fix.
Okay, as insane as buying gas to sniff over food is, how incredible are her genes? Her daughter looks like a carbon copy of her. Actually, didn't she say she started her gas sniffing at 13 and she's now 44, meaning she might have been smelling gasoline whilst pregnant, which is ridiculously dangerous for the baby. So maybe that's the reason why she and her daughter look so similar. I'll give you a couple of seconds to guess what the symptoms of solvent abuse are. Alright, time's up. If you said memory loss, irritability, and poor concentration, then you probably googled the symptoms, or are also an avid inhaler of the gasoline. But yeah, Teresa definitely has some of these symptoms, especially the memory loss. It's so bad that she actually has to sticky note her steering wheel in case she forgets something important.
I've had memory loss since about 1995. Because of my memory loss, I have to use, see? I have to use little notes and leave them tacked up on my steering wheel of my car.
The producers then make her go to see a doctor and they carry out an electromyogram to determine the health of her nervous system after years of gasoline abuse, and the results actually threw me off if I'm being totally honest.
The test shows that your nerve looks okay. Well, this is a great sense of relief for you, I can imagine. And at the same time, it's still doing damage.
Right. She's been tremendously lucky. 30 years of sniffing and somehow her body's held up.
She is genetically built to be a gas sniffer or something. Maybe I was onto something when I said she had incredible genes. And low-key, if her body can withstand around 30 years of non-stop gasoline abuse, then she might just be resilient to its effects, so carry on, I guess. Okay, I'm only kidding. Don't do that. Anyway, Teresa is a true gasoline addict, and for that reason she will be taking her spot rightfully in the strange tier. Our second to last addiction we have is the lady who is addicted to sucking her thumb.
I'm Rhonda, I'm 24. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm addicted to sucking my thumb.
Now, this one is easily one of the more harmless addictions that we have for this tier list, but there's a reason, which I'll get into, why I included this one in the list.
This is my blanket, or what's left of it. I smell it while I'm sucking my thumb. What I'll do is I'll take the blanket, wrap it around my finger, and then suck my thumb and smell the blanket.
Yeah, it's the blanket sniffing. I actually used to know someone who used to do the same thing, and they were a pretty cool person, and they told me why they did it. It's a blanket that she had whilst growing up as a child, and essentially it smells like her childhood. So if they're ever stressed out or feeling sad, they have this physical manifestation of the nostalgia of their childhood that they can use to calm themselves down. Actually, in the video, Rhonda also says that she only stops sucking her thumb when she can't find her blanket.
The only time that I've not is when I've lost my blanket for a couple days.
Okay.
When I lose my blanket, I usually don't suck my thumb.
So I actually think that Rhonda is addicted to smelling her blanket, and the thumb sucking is only a byproduct of constantly having her hand near her face.
Later on, like when my parents got divorced, it was like it was really there on a comfort basis for me. I know we're talking about an object here, but
Not to get all psychological or anything, but Rhonda mentions that when she was 12, her parents got divorced. Now, this is just my theory, but she probably had that blanket back then and used it to bring herself back to the time when her parents were still together. This behavior was reinforced by the feelings of comfort that the blanket would bring, and then as a result, she would continue to suck her thumb. Another thing that supports my theory is that at the end of the video, there's another black screen that states that she actually lost her blanket and it led to her not sucking her thumb as much. Anyway, this addiction I don't think is weird enough to put in the a little weird tier, and it kind of makes sense to an extent, so I'm going to be putting it in the completely fine tier. Our final addiction is going to be the lady addicted to eating foam mattresses.
My name is Jennifer, and I'm addicted to eating mattresses.
Oh man, it's going to take a lot in me to get through this one.
I like my mattress plain and straight up. I know mayonnaise, butter, none of that. There's like a hard texture, like my taste buds to go, kind of like a guitar.
No, I don't know what you mean by a guitar, but before that, I'll just ask the question that everyone is thinking. How do you manage to get that overweight whilst eating a large amount of inedible foods that will fill up your stomach? She also said that she doesn't add oil or butter or anything, so I'm genuinely curious how she maintained this build while essentially packing her stomach with foam. We probably won't get an answer to that question, but we do have another black screen of death, and if you want to know what 0.09 square meters of foam mattress looks like, it's like eating this piece of A4 sized cardboard except a lot more fluffy. And this is per day. I'd imagine Jennifer saves a lot of money on toilet paper, given the fact that it probably wipes itself on the way out.
It enters my body and leaves my body. It goes through my system and goes out.
I'm very concerned about her health and her digestive system, because I have seen it in the toilet. It comes out in whole pieces.
Okay, you have to be taking the piss now. There is no way in hell that it comes out in full pieces like that, still yellow. Either that is for demonstration, or she has an insane digestive system. Jennifer actually goes into why she eats the foam, and I'll just play the clip.
I usually, when I crave to eat some mattress, it usually be after 2 o'clock after I eat. I'm urged. I need an urge. I gotta have it. For some reason, after sex, I will want some.
I'm just gonna assume that this is the producers making her say some shit that is gonna make people laugh. And it worked, so well played, producers. Well played. Jennifer then has an argument with her family, and they convince her to get looked at by a doctor, and it goes about as well as you would expect.
Really, only symptoms that I think is connected to it, I may be a little gassy, but then again, like I'm having sulfur burps.
Sulfur burps? Okay.
Yeah, like a fart in my mouth.
Okay, I'm lying. I wasn't expecting her to say this at all. Her breath must honestly be so bad. Which is strange because she has some really nice teeth. Anyway, the doctor does an x-ray and lo and behold, she has foam in her stomach.
All right, well, the x-ray shows no definite obstruction, but it's hard for me to see what's called your stomach bubble.
All right.
Okay, sort of that suggests that maybe your stomach was full, and maybe it was full of foam mattress.
Yeah.
Jennifer then vows to stop eating mattresses after being scared by the doctor, but the follow-up states that she did relapse, although she has eaten less than normal. Anyway, the mattress eating was strange, but I could have looked past it were it not for the revelation that she burps out farts, and for that reason she's going into the strange tier. Another outstanding collection of addictions covered in this pod of the tier list. The next one will be the finale, with some bangers that I saved for last. But if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. But other than that, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.